So let's bring in Lindsay McPherson, House Leadership Reporter for Roll Call. Lindsay, thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me on, Rick.
Where does the president begin?
They have to begin with this budget deal, as you're calling it, and the docket issue is a big part of that for Democrats. So to get through that before you can move on to anything else is key. The deadline for funding the government is January 19th, and leaders don't even have a deal to raise what we call the budget caps set by sequestration. These are automatic spending increases that will take effect. Republicans want to significantly increase funding for defense and the military. Democrats are okay to do that, but they say you have to do it with equal increases to non-defense programs, domestic programs like on health issues and education, things like that.
Lindsay, we've heard all this optimistic talk about Democratic cooperation. We haven't seen a whole lot of it yet, as you know. What is the likelihood that we will in 2018?
I would say very unlikely. It's a midterm election year. Democrats have no real incentive to work with the president when they're running on a largely anti-Trump platform. So why would they work with him to give him a big win on a legislative item, whether that be infrastructure or anything else?
Infrastructure is a good example of why they might want to work with him, because their constituents might want those roads to get rebuilt and the bridges to get fixed.
Indeed, and when Republicans talk about bipartisanship, I don't think they're talking about working with Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, and the entire Democratic caucuses. I think they're more talking about going to those Democrats who are up for re-election in red states, states that Trump won, and working with them to achieve bipartisan priorities. And those are where maybe on infrastructure especially they can get a coalition needed to get something through the Senate.
The president has said that he will campaign for Republican candidates in the 2018 midterms. We want to listen to the president and then get your reaction to it.
We went into DACA and how we're going to do, and we hope that we're going to be able to work out an arrangement with the Democrats. I think it's something that they'd like to see happen. It's something certainly that I'd like to see happen.
We hope that 2018 will be a year of more bipartisan cooperation at the president's agenda.
We've got issues such as infrastructure that we want to attend to. We want to make sure that Secretary Mattis and our military have the tools and the resources that they need to keep us safe. So we have a very bold agenda for 2018. We think this agenda is one that will appeal to everyone in between Democrats and Republicans, independents.
That was actually the sound about them working together, but he also spoke about what we discussed and about campaigning for Republican candidates. And I guess the question is, do you think that that could be an effective strategy, and will it be an effective strategy in 2018?
It certainly will depend on the state, but that is normal for a president to say he's going to go out and back incumbents. What's significant about it coming from Donald Trump is that previously, last year, when things were still tense with some congressional Republicans, he had made some veiled threats about potentially weighing in on primaries against incumbents if they didn't back his agenda. So to hear him publicly say that is probably reassuring for these candidates heading into the midterm primary season this spring. As to whether he follows through on that commitment to back incumbents, I guess it will depend on where the issues lie at that time and whether they're supporting his agenda.
Before I forget, Lindsay, I wanted to ask you real quick about the Wolf book that we've heard so much about this weekend. Do you have any sense whether it's actually damaging relationships inside the White House, or whether perhaps the administration is circling its wagons and maybe getting stronger because of all this outside criticism?
It seems to me that the relationships in the White House are strong in support of the president at the moment over the book. At least publicly. In terms of behind the scenes, I'm not sure. They're probably freaking out a little bit. But I think on the Hill this week, that's going to be a big question, and it's not going to distract the congressional Republicans since they don't focus on those type of extraneous matters.
Lindsay McPherson, Roll Call reporter. We appreciate your time very much tonight.
Thanks, Rick.